Welcome to the Tarantula Cloud. This is Day of the Night, and we're going to start off this vid with the look at my Samoporus armenia, the Venezuelan sun tiger. It's a shadow. This tarantula has been eating fairly well, and she's been getting bigger, and as you can see, she's molting here. And I caught this just in time because she actually was behind this piece of bark, and she didn't have much room, so I actually had to pull that bark down and give her some room, and when I did, she actually almost just completely came out of it. So I'm assuming if I hadn't have pulled that bark back, she might have been stuck and possibly have died. So I caught her just in time, so I wanted to add this in there. She's in a bigger enclosure right now, and she escaped on me while I was changing her, which she did that the first night I got her, so that's kind of her little theme with her. She loves to escape. But this tarantula is mainly about my top 12 favorite tarantulas in my collection. I hope you guys enjoy this one. I've had some requests for this vid, so here we go. Number 12 is my Vicularia, the common pink-toed tarantula. This is my wife's tarantula, Luna, and she made the top 12 because she is obviously special to me because she's my wife's tarantula. This tarantula is what's pretty much gotten me as many tarantulas as I have now, is because my wife fell in love with this one, and she understood through this tea that, you know, tarantulas aren't bad at all, and they're actually really great pets to own. So this one had to make the top 12 just because it's the one that kind of continued my collection after I think she was around the number 20 mark. I got somewhere around there between 15 and 20 tarantulas, and she kind of continued there. Initially my wife said I can only have 20, so I'm up to 40 now. So I'm actually happy that she for this tea continued the hobby for me. So she's in the 12th spot. Looking great too. She's been really looking good after her last molt. Number 11 is the Thriditsa palmerocuti, the Peru flame rump. This is Marzaris, and she made the top 12 because she, for one, her looks, if you look at that rump, it's really, really gorgeous, contrasting with that green that she has, and her carapace is like a lime green color. And if you ever seen a Thriditsa palmer, they're when they get spooked out and they raise their butt in the air to kind of show off a little threat posture with their rump, is really cute, and really adds to her personality, which is she has a very great personality. She can be very docile at times. Other times she can be very, very skittish. But as you can see here, this is kind of her little in-between stage. This is her most of the time. And I don't really bug my tarantulas too much, but you'll see through this vid that I kind of got them out in the open, and so you can see them when they're not feeding or when they're not hiding. So this is pretty much what she does. She just walks around doing her thing. She's a very sweet little tarantula, and very happy to have her. Alright, number 10, we have my Poecilotheria ornata. It's the fringed ornamental Prometheus. I haven't had this tarantula for that long, but this is one of my favorite species in the hobby, and she has a very, very skittish personality. But after her last molt, she kind of been a little bit more out in the open. She's not as skittish, and as you'll see here, she's going to be on the glass here in a moment. When I was filming her, she actually ran towards the glass and did this. And this is after she attacked the glass, essentially. All I did was I was going to open it up to give her some water, and she actually came aggressively across the enclosure and went at the glass there, and she just kind of sat here basically telling me to go take a hike. So wasn't really upset about it. I finally got a good shot of her underneath the ventral side, and you can see the beautiful color she has there. Her petals are orange, which is just amazing with the yellow, and she's all over the place color-wise. My favorite species of Poke. Number 9, a Camptoscaria geniculata. This is my very, very pissed off Brazilian giant white knee, Scarlet. This is the first time I've ever seen her throw this type of a threat posture. She was in her hide, and she's in heavy pre-molt right now, and I tapped her rump with the paintbrush to get her out in the open, and this is what I got. She did not make the top 10 because of her aggressive nature. She's very sweet, actually, but she was, as you can see here, I mean, look at that. I mean, she was really pissed off. But you can see the size of the rump. She's in heavy pre-molt right now, and she's hungry. She hasn't eaten in about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. She's not really used to that. I usually give her something, but right now with that rump like that, she doesn't eat anything. And so she's grumpy right now, and she's kicking some hairs there. Very abnormal behavior for her. She doesn't do this at all. It's the first time I've ever seen her do that. Can't wait for her to molt, though. She looks amazing right now. I can't wait to see what she looks like after she molts. Number 8 is my Phormictopus Cancerides, the Haitian brown bird eater, raven. And I got her and Scarlet, my Gina colada, the exact same day. So I kind of always view these two as kind of almost like the same tarantula. I love them exactly the same. They were my 4th and 5th tarantula I ever owned. And they really, really sweet tarantulas. I got to raise them from half-inch slings. I think my Haitian brown was around a 3/4 inch when I got her, but she's one of my favorites because of her personality, and her growth rate is ridiculous. You can see the colors on her. She looks amazing, and hopefully she's a she. I haven't really been able to get a good look at her her molt to properly sex her, but so far she looks like a female, but you never can tell sometimes. These tarantulas can change up on you on a dime, but so far she looks like a female to me. Number 7 is my beautiful non-dew Chromatis, the white striped bird eater, Andromeda, and she's been out all the time. The last few months she's been hiding. Ever since I changed that enclosure around, she's been out and about. She hasn't been hiding anymore. I actually had to tap her with the paintbrush to get her to come out right here, which don't think I've ever tried to make her come out. So, and I really didn't even know what her temperament would be as far as her reaction to a paintbrush tapping her on the rump, but she was fine with it. She came out and kind of walked around. She threw a little bit of a threat posture, but then she dropped it, and she kind of just hung out on the glass here. Normally she would be back in her hide in a heartbeat, but she's been out and about lately, and that's great. She's definitely not as skittish as she used to be, and she looks absolutely amazing. I love that white carapace and the contrast on the legs with the white and the black. It just looks awesome. And she's a very, very sweet girl. Another one of my sweet girls is my number 6 T here, and that's my Phormictopus Cancerides, the desert/Mexican blonde. Her name is Venus, and this is one of my sweetest teas in my collection as far as her docile nature. She has a very good appetite. She's very sweet. She is she's had that spot on her butt for a while, so I don't think she's going into pre-molt anytime soon. But she makes my list just because of the beauty. I love the Phormictopus to begin with, but this Cancerides, I mean, that blonde is just gorgeous, and the contrast with the chocolate brown legs blended in with the blonde. She's a very, very nice tarantula, but she really makes my list because she's just so sweet and docile, and I can get her out, and she's always out in the open, and never thrown a threat posture, never kicked any hair. She's just an awesome tarantula. Next up is my number 5, and that's my Palmerocuti, Mexican painted red leg, Phoenix. Another one of my sweet babies, except when she's hungry, she can get a little aggressive at times. She's not a hair kicker. She is not skittish. She's very, very sweet. She's not a pet rock. Walks around all the time. She's always out in the open. And she's been through a lot with me, and that's why she's so high up on my list. If you don't know the story, she got a leg caught in her enclosure somehow, and the first night I got her and broke her leg, and after her molt, her first molt in my care, she actually got stuck in there with a broken leg. I had to amputate the leg to get her out the molt. And then over the next couple of molts, she grew her leg back, and now she's doing just fine. So she is very special to me because she was the first tarantula I ever had to surgically remove from a molt. So, and not to mention, she's my favorite of the brachyes. The species Amelia is my favorite of the brachyes, and as you can see here, she's a very sweet-looking tarantula and very docile. Number 4 is my Poecilotheria Metallica, the Goody Sapphire Ornamental Millennium. This is my first Poke I ever owned, so she's special to me. And this is the tarantula that really got me into teas. When I saw this thing a couple of years ago, I couldn't believe it. What I was looking at, a full-grown specimen of how they look. So this is the one that kind of kept the motor running for me as far as wanting to collect more tarantulas and getting more variety with all the species that are out there. I never thought in a million years my first poke would be a Metallica, but me and my buddy Guitar Guy 1031, we both ordered from Paul Becker and got a really nice deal on our P Metallicas, and I'm very happy we did that. We got very lucky with that price with Paul Becker. Number 3 is my newly acquired Grandmastola Mall, the Chilean Goat Fluff Cotton Candy. This tarantula is just, for some reason, is just one of those tarantulas you always want to show everybody when they come over. You can get her out. She takes little strolls. She's not a hair kicker. She's very docile. You can handle her with no problem. She eats very well. She's very easy to take care of, and she's very rare, at least over here in the United States, because I hear she is not as rare in other parts of the world. But you just don't see a lot of these in the hobby from what I've seen. And it wouldn't matter anyway. If you look at this tea, she looks amazing. I love the way this tea looks, and I'm curious to see how she's going to look in the future after she molts a couple more times, and just how big she gets. But for right now, she's just amazing tea, and haven't had her that long. She's already number 3 just because of her docile nature, and you can get personal with her and handle it and everything. And same with this tea. Number 2 is my Paraphysa Euathlus species unknown, Pandora. She's almost the exact same way as my Grandmastola Mall. They're both very sweet. As you can see here, the lid's open. I do this about maybe once or twice a week, and she'll come out and walk around and then stretch her legs. And she loves to come up to the top of this thing, much like a Euathlus species red will do. Very similar to that temperament. I mean, when I come in into the room, she comes up to the top. She wants to get out and she wants to walk around. I don't handle her because sometimes she can get a little skittish. You know, when for some reason she doesn't like really fast movement. So if I get her on my hand, she won't really walk around. She'll just sit there. So there's really no point to that for me. So I just kind of let her walk around and in her enclosure. And when she's done, she'll walk back into her enclosure and I'll close the lid. That's how she tells me when she's done, when she walks back in there. It's just really awesome tarantula. Very rare. No one knows what the species is, and hopefully we can find out in the future. It's a really good, my favorite photo of her. And last but not least is my number 1 favorite tarantula in my collection, and that's the first tarantula I ever owned, and that's my Grammostola rosea Chilean Rose Queen. This is the tarantula that started it all for me. And had her temperament been any different than it was, had she been difficult to take care of, had she had a bad molt, had she not eat any number of things, I probably wouldn't have continued on. But she was the perfect tarantula at the right time for me, and I really love this tea for that. She was really awesome tea, and that's why she's got the big enclosure. She's my special lady. Everything that I do now is from her with my teas. I mean, it all comes from her. She's a really, really sweet, awesome tarantula, and I'm going to be mating her with my mature male pistol here, hopefully in the next couple days, and I'll film that, and it should be on the next Focus Feature series, win, lose, or draw with it. You know, no matter what happens, I'll show you what happened with that, if possible. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. For those who requested it, here you go, and thank you guys for watching. Have another one up soon. Take it easy, guys.